Mr. Turner, the pre-calc learner.
Mr. Turner, the pre-calc learner.
Turner, 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 Turner. Mr. Turner, the pre-calc learner. Pre-calc rules. Mr. Turner, the pre-calc learner.
Hey guys, today we're going to be learning about the abacus. Featuring my lovely assistant and long-lost cousin 3 times removed, Tina Turner. First, we're going to start with how the abacus came to be. Do you know, Tina?
The first form of the abacus was known as the Salamis tablet used by the Babylonians, founded on the island of Salamis in 1846.
Wow, so cool! The Salamis tablet.
Salamis.
It is made from a slab of white marble with 2 sets of parallel lines, one with 5 lines and one with 11. They are both bisected by a perpendicular line. Every third line on the set of 11 is marked with an X, and they are both capped with a semicircle at each end, and the board is split in 2. There are Greek letters on the top, bottom, and both sides of the board.
Thanks, Tina. Let's move on to the soroban, also known as the Japanese abacus. The soroban is a version of the abacus that was founded in Japan. It was adopted around 1600 AD after seen as useful for counting. It performed mainly addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. It was modified into modern configuration around 1930, and it was made from wood.
Neato!
Now here we have a diagram of the soroban with the upper level and the lower level. The upper level consists of 1 bead, while the lower level consists of 4 beads. Starting from the far right, we have the ones place, the tens place, the hundreds place, and so on. The top deck is known as heaven, while the bottom deck is known as earth. It's time for the swan pond, the Chinese abacus. Now here we have the swan pond, which has the same setup as the soroban, but it's a little different, and you'll see that as we go along. There's the upper level with 2 beads, and the lower level with 5 beads. In the upper level, each bead represents 5. In the lower level, each bead represents 1. Like the soroban, we have the ones place, the tens place, and so on.
Isn't that interesting?
The abacus. How do you use it, and what's its purpose?
The abacus uses countable beads for its user to visualize numbers on a 10-base system. It is used by moving the beads of given value to the center to represent the initial number, and either adding or taking away beads to add or subtract to get the final answer. The soroban and the swan pond are mainly used for addition and subtraction, but there are many other abacuses out there that are used for other functions such as multiplying, dividing, calculating fractions, and also solving square roots. Here we have the Japanese abacus, also known as the soroban. The farthest right pole represents the ones place. The beads on the bottom represent a value of 1, and the beads on the top a value of 5. So if we were to move the beads to the middle, this would represent 1, 2, 3, now 4. And since the top deck beads represent a value of 5, moving the ones place bead down, this would represent a total of 9. Now the second pole represents the tens place. So this would equal 10, 20, 30, 40, and now 90 because the top bead represents 5. Now, let us show you an example of an addition problem, such as 11 plus 14. We will need to start with the initial number, which is 11, and to add 14, you would first add 10, and then the additional 4, which is 1, 2, 3. And since we have run out of beads on the bottom, you would put the beads all back and add the 5 bead, representing 25. Now let's work our way backwards back to 11 by doing 25 minus 14. So here we start with 25, and to subtract 14 you would first take away 10. Now you want to take away 4 by first removing the bead with a value of 5 and move all 4 up. And now we have subtracted 1, and then you want to subtract 2, 3, 4, and you are back to 11.
That's awesome!
The Salamis tablet, the Roman calculi, and hand abacus were used from 300 BC to 500 AD. These were mainly made of stone and metal. Before the abacus, people used wooden sticks known as calculation chips. The apices, the coin board, and the line board were used from 5 AD to 1400 AD. These boards were usually made of wood. As arithmetic gained popularity in the later Middle Ages, the use of the abacus started to fade away. The abacus is still used today in some Asian communities. Today, China, Japan, Russia, and African merchants and clerks use the abacus. Modern abaci are typically made from wooden beads, and in Japan, bicone beads are used.
Now, let's talk about how the abacus is used today.
Sometimes the blind use an abacus because they can feel the numbers easily. The use of the abacus is also taught in Asian schools.
So, students, what have you learned today?
We learned that there are many different kinds of abacuses made from many different materials with many different uses. The abacus is an excellent way for kids to learn addition and subtraction. It teaches math with hands-on learning, and it's more interesting for the students. This lesson opened my eyes to the many different methods of teaching addition and subtraction. Over the centuries, there have been many advancements in mathematics to make solving equations more efficient.
Very good. Splendid. Well done. I'm Mr. Turner. See you next time.
Mr. Turner, the pre-calc learner.
Mr. Turner, the pre-calc learner.